chicken. 今も可愛い。
この試合、文句と言わずに、お前はリズの外に出て、リズワードで投げてくれ。
Hello everyone, and welcome to the Ocean Cyclone Show, our annual mid-year Joshi report cards. We got some good students, we got some bad students. We're gonna dole them out. We're gonna figure out who's who. I am your host, Ryan, aka Mr. Dilbert, genius of the French fry. We have, as always, Mr. Trent Brewer, our most charming host, who I'm wondering, Trent, are you still feeling the high of the Celtics title win? Well,
of course,
Scott
this has been a really good basketball year for me. Boston Celtics won, banner number 18, back ahead of the Los Angeles Lakers, regardless of whether you count the Minneapolis Lakers banners or not. My NBL team, the Australian Basketball League, they won their first banner as well. We defended the island, Tasmanian Jack Jumpers. Incidentally, both teams wear green as well. So it's good to be green in 2024. So, yeah, get on board with the Jack Jumpers, get on board with the Celtics. If a baseball team wears green, maybe support them. I don't know. I don't follow the Major League Baseball.
All right. And I don't know. Jack Jumper is probably one of the best sports names around.
It was a confusing naming process. Basic for those of you who don't know, because you might be confused by the name Jack Jumper. It's a tiny little ant, but they jump really high relative to their height, hence the name Jack Jumpers. But they're an ant.
That's excellent.
But they are a championship-winning ant.
There you go, the mighty ant. And our third member, the hardest working man.
Less charming.
No. I was going to give him his props. Often called the hardest working man in the business, Scott Edwards. Scott, are you okay? Are you good following what has happened so far?
Yeah, that was a lot. That was a lot before I said my first words. I got called least charming. I think you said hardest man in the business, which that actually goes to Juice Robinson. He is rock hard. But you know, it's fine.
Harder
it's
than
fine.
a rock. Maybe you're a diamond. I don't know.
I can't be harder than The Rock. That's literally his gimmick. He's The Rock. Whatever. But I'm happy to be here. I can. I used to be able to. I'm not gonna do it right now. I don't know, because I don't want to like do it on camera and then I fail and then I look like an idiot.
I mean, you do that anyway.
I already look like an idiot. I don't need to do it more, you know. But I'm happy to be here. Happy to talk mid-year reports. I'm not going to be nice to really anything today.
Okay.
It's been a tough year. I'm just going to say that. It's been a tough year to be a Joshi fan. And I think everyone knows that. If we were just grading matches and specific wrestlers, like, we'd be okay. But we're not. You know, we're not doing that. So,
and I'm going to be balancing things out. Just like I am, I think, in real life as a teacher, I'm very kind. When it comes to grading, I'm looking for the positive.
Yeah,
like, where can I give you
no
credit,
future, like you
as
said,
opposed to where I can take away things. So we're gonna have.
I'll just ask you a question, Ryan. Before we get into this, I do need to inquire. This is the mid-year report card. This is your sort of home turf. You are the actual resident teacher. You kind of know what you're doing here. Is this the standard teacher attire that the American education system encourages? Like I've dressed up for the occasion. I've got the sophisticated glasses. I've got the educated collar, and you've come dressed without a collar, without any signs of, you know, class. Is this what is expected in the American education system? If so, it explains so much.
I dress very nice. I'm very snappy. I'm going to sound very arrogant, but I think I am the best dressed teacher.
It's a great t-shirt. I'm just, you know, curious.
I haven't worn my Miku Ono shirt to work. I could try it, see what happens, but
I definitely will.
I'll let you know I'll let you know how it goes. The last day, celebrate.
I just want to point out, we are 5 minutes into the show, and Trent has went out of his way to attack both hosts. I just want to point that out. Anyone that thinks I'm the bad guy, I'm not. It's him. No one else has done anything. You called me the least charming host of the show off the bat.
I was following on from what Ryan said. I was just clarifying.
No.
Just wanted to make sure the order, the rank.
Yeah, it's important. This is what we do on this episode. We rank things. And Ryan,
this is a ranking episode. This is reporting. This is a report card. I will not hear it.
Everything gets ranked.
That's true. We have a little big list of ranking, and nothing could beat Io Shirai's moonsault. So it's like incredible.
Well, actually, like a lot of things beat Io Shirai's
Shut up!
Moonsault. It was like
Shut up! I'm trying. I'm trying to do a cheap plug for the next episode or one of the next episodes we do, and you're not letting it happen. I don't know if it's next.
And he also you wanted to mention Io Sky because she is.
That's what I do. Yes.
She's coming back to the Joshi world.
We won, as I like to say. We won.
So that might be what we answer on this question.
As did Eva.
Scott, what are you most looking forward to?
Oh, I mean, you gave it away. There's nothing. There is nothing on this earth in professional wrestling for me that is more exciting than Io Shirai returning to Japan. And just the best part of it all, wrestling Utami Hayashishita in a one-on-one legitimate dream match. People like to throw that dream match term around.
Yeah. This is real.
Is a dream match. The world has been treating me well this year in terms of matches. That's why I said if we were just rating matches, I'd be having a good time. I got Mayu versus Shari, winner. Now I'm going to Io versus Utami, winner. It's a good time to be a fan if you're just into like big time matches. I can't wait for that. I can't wait for Summer Destiny 2024 as a whole. I think that show is going to be awesome. Obviously, it has Julia versus Sari on it. Miku versus Mirai again.
The heat death of the universe.
Listen. I'm under the hot take that I've enjoyed the first two. I haven't watched the third one yet, but I've loved the rivalry. I'm into it. I'm just very excited for that, and it's only 2 weeks away. So that's pretty crazy to think about as well.
And Trent, what about you? Anything besides the obvious dream match?
Yeah, well, he has kind of stolen the thunder with, the Thunder Rock, somewhat coming back. It's very exciting to see Io Shirai coming back to Japan and wrestling. The person who, she literally joined Stardom. One of the big reasons Utami went there was to work with Io Shirai, and then she buggered off to WWE for a bit. Still technically there. I have enjoyed like the whole Rossi meme of doing the time limit draw is sort of a running joke, and I like to think that I know it's not, but I'd like to think the only reason he's doing these Miko Ayano Mirai draws is just to poke fun at that. And I hope that we get to the year 2048 and those two still cannot determine a winner between them. Like that's what I hope.
Yeah.
We might get there.
In terms of things I am excited for, it is Joshi related. I'm looking forward to seeing Unagi Sayaka in Bakugaijin. When Chris Brooks brought that little madhouse thing to Arena Shimo Kitazawa, Unagi was one of the people I kind of pictured thinking I could see her doing wonders in that setting. And it's finally happening July 2nd. Wrestling Mao. I've heard things. Mao is going to do Mao things at that show. It's going to be particularly fun. And Unagi is Unagi. I think she's going to flourish in that kind of setting. So I'm really looking forward to seeing what goes on in one of the most fun settings in pro wrestling today.
Yeah, for sure. The Sendai girls are also having some really huge matches coming up. For me, Hashimoto versus Jordan Grace has been one of my personal dream matches. Just two big bulls, power versus power. And it was one of those moves. That's not going to happen. She's in TNA. It's so distant. Didn't seem possible. Here we are. It's happening. And then Momo versus Dash as well. Like, it feels like they're booking for me, but I'll take it. Those are huge. There's also a movie on Netflix coming out. It's like a history of like 90s Joshi. It's I'm not even sure who's in it, but you already sold me.
Brie? Is it
90s Joshi history, free on Netflix. Like, I'm there.
Yeah, that sounds fun.
And actually, I can watch that as opposed to the Mayu movie, which
we can't see.
I cannot see. So.
You know, it's kind of funny you bring up the 90s Joshi thing. I'm sitting here thinking like, I wonder who they got for it. I feel like we would have known if Rossi Ogawa did that, and he feels like a pretty good person to have for such a show. But hopefully they got like the right people for it. But
I know Doug Matsumoto is
I would argue that's
featured prominently in there.
Yeah,
but
that's a good person to have for it. That's
I don't
good
know.
Start.
I have heard of something going on with Dump.
I knew Dump had a show coming out about her or a movie or something.
Yeah, so this might be it. I'd like to know not that much about something like this when I'm sold already. I don't want to see a trailer.
I don't want to know anything.
I'm just gonna jump in. I'm already there. So
it's actually only a trailer, nothing else. The runtime.
How well do you know Dump's career? Like, you might know the story already.
That's true. Ready to relive it. So today we're gonna look for the studious, the slackers, the extra special, good and bad, in terms of wrestlers and promotions. So we're gonna go first with the wrestlers. We have a handful of wrestlers. We're gonna give them grades, and then some promotions. I don't think we decided whether or not everyone's doing Ice Ribbon. I don't know how much of y'all have watched.
Oh, we're doing Ice Ribbon.
We're doing it. You have some thoughts? Okay.
Especially because of your prediction at the beginning of the year.
We'll talk about that.
Every
episode. We'll talk about it.
There wasn't a prediction that got destroyed quicker than that one. A lot of predictions got destroyed. Trust me. Trust me. I heard some of the predictions and I knew they were going to get destroyed. But yours in particular was special. You had so much hope in Ice Ribbon. Someone heard it and said, "What if we just ruined that now?" Completely. And they did. They did. Their ace got pregnant.
He held on to hope for Ice Ribbon for several years now.
That's true. But their ace got pregnant,
at some point
and their second ace got injured also. Like, I don't. Tough luck. And never mind. We'll talk about it later.
Yeah, we have plenty of thoughts on each one of those. I think we should start positive. Get that going before Scott does some. He's looking at me funny, but
I don't even know what I would be positive about. Truthfully,
we have a lot of negative to say about Sari. That's what we're going to grade first.
All right. Well,
I have a feeling
as a wrestler or as a champion?
As a wrestler, what she's done first half of the year.
I thought we were only doing champions, so I'm very confused at the moment.
Well, we did do champions, we were doing I feel like we have to talk about her.
Reign for this year. I was like, she's defended that title once.
Yeah, so I was like, if we're just doing the reign, if we're doing Sari as a whole, all right, we're here.
Yeah, much different game. Trent, do you want to start? Thoughts on Sari?
I think she's been a star student this year. Obviously, like, you're looking at impact across the board. She's been everywhere. She's gone to Stardom. She's gone to Marigold. She's gone to Seedling. She's gone to Surrealism. She's booking amazing cards. She's headlining amazing cards, and she's just working amazing cards. And to me, she's had some of the best matches in Joshi this year. It's just been, whenever you talk about the good in Joshi in 2024, it feels like her name constantly pops up. It's very difficult to get away from her in that respect. She had an incredible 2023, but I feel like her in the discussion last year, you could put her in amongst a lot of other names. Whereas this year, it's kind of, she's separated herself from the pack. For a while there, like, everyone was talking about Sari as Wrestler of the Year, and I was like, yeah, but what about Mayu? And then, like, I took a step back and tried to remove my own personal bias just a little bit. And it's like, as great as Mayu has been, the breadth of matches that Cerise had, it just wasn't even a competition there. And I feel like as the year has gone on, that gap has only increased. And I don't think there's another wrestler who's really stepped up to the plate to even challenge her at this point. And you look at what's coming. So she's booking main event matches, which is exciting. She's involved in them. She's co-headlining arguably the biggest show in the Joshi calendar. She's facing Julia, and who knows what's coming for the second half of the year. Obviously, we can only take so much of that into account for mid-year report card, but I don't know like what American education rating system we're using, but like it's A's across the board, except for maybe how well she's defending that championship. Again, one defense, but
I can't blame
as a
her on
wrestler,
Speedling.
Yeah, the Seedling's booking it. They're not booking it. I guess the argument would be made, but as a wrestler, she is peerless right now.
Scott, you same thoughts?
A+, best wrestler on the planet.
Yeah,
I just make it easy. There's no one better in the world right now. Every match is must see from her. Every single match. You need to go out of your way to see it if you can see it. The fact is she still wrestles on shows you just can't see. But whether it's the match with Mayu Iwatani, whether it's the match with Chihiro Hashimoto, whether it's the tag team match teaming with Hashimoto against Natsuko and Seriano, you get my point. Like, it doesn't matter the match. She has one of my favorite matches of the year on a Sendai Girls house show. She teamed with, I think it was Mio Momino against Iwata and Hashimoto. Tremendous match. She is an unfair individual. Truly. Like, my top wrestlers of the year are her, Mayu, and like Bryan Danielson. And she's so much further than everyone because that's her hit rate. She has, I think, 4 matches in my top 10 this year. Like, I don't think I need to say much more. She is the best wrestler on the planet and essentially has been since the moment she stepped back into Japan. It's not really fair. It's been a pleasure to watch as a fan. It's been a pleasure to get to interview her a few times about what she's doing. And like Trent said, it's only going to get better. She's going to have the match with Julia. That's going to be outstanding. She's going to have the Sarias main event, which is going to be outstanding. And then she's going to have whatever the other Sariism show is and whatever else she does. And she's probably going to be part of Arisa Nakajima's retirement road still. Like, unmatched, untouchable. A+. The highest grade you can get. I don't think I'll give another A+ this whole show.
Okay. I like that we're in agreement very early before it completely falls apart.
You were smart. You started positive.
Yeah. Every year I have a student who's like good at everything. They're good academically. They're good socially. They know when to be quiet. They know when to talk. They're just like exactly what you want. And you have to not make it obvious that they're your favorite. That's your goal because you're like, you're all the same.
I can see how that would be a problem. I can see how that would be a problem as a teacher.
But it's like this is what you're supposed to be doing. This is Sari. Everything you want from a wrestler. She's bringing excitement to multiple promotions. She's making promotions feel bigger. I don't think Marigold would feel as impactful without her weight. Like, she's bringing.
They just booked Io Shirai. Like, that's.
But she's there from the beginning. She's
I agree. That main event, like, being there off the rip. Also, I meant to add that in. I don't have to run in, but her becoming like a regular for a promotion has been a very unique addition to her resume that I was not ready for. It's been lovely, by the way.
Yeah, I'll take it. And you guys are listing off all the matches. There's so many. To me, she has the match of the year with Mayu, and then maybe number 2 with Hashimoto. And then if you put the 10 best tag matches, she's in like 5 or 6 of them. There's no one on that level. So easy A+ for me. Trent, I don't think you did an official letter.
It's an A's across the board.
Oh, A's across the board.
Yeah.
Just A's.
Yeah,
you got it.
Yeah, as I said, the only complaint I have is the championship defense, and again, that is a seedling thing, not a Sareet thing.
As she said in my interview, she said, "I don't think they think I could top the Arisa match." So, oh well.
Just let her. Let her do her thing.
And she's busy doing amazing things, and that's not a title that necessarily. Like, I don't mind if the seedling championship doesn't get defended as regularly as, say, the Stardom Red Belt. Because it's never a title to me that needs to be defended on a consistent schedule. It's never been a belt that seems to be defended as regularly. So if it goes a couple of months without a defense, it's just like fine. And Sareet is out there. Like, it's not being forgotten about. She's wearing the belt all the time. She's out there. It's being seen. The only, like, if she's defending it more, it just means we're getting more top tier Sareet matches, which is a good thing. But like, we're not for want of top tier Sareet matches. We're still getting them. So yeah, A's across the board. It's an A+. It's just I forgot we do pluses and minuses.
Okay,
been a long time since I've been in school.
Clarifying. Do A+ all across.
Only for the people that deserve it.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know if there's any other ones. We'll see. Let's do Iwata next. Sendai Girls
as champion.
Yes.
As champion.
I think you bring in some other stuff from her.
So you just want us to rate the wrestler. You just want us to rate the wrestler. That's probably safer.
I think for this one, I'm definitely focusing more on the title. But you can interpret as you will.
All right.
It's a different situation, I think.
Is it? Because she's had just as many defenses as Sareet did. One.
No, but you just want us to be really nice to Sareet because she's your favorite.
No, I'm just saying the Sendai Girls should be defended more. Like they run.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I mean,
don't worry. I have no problem.
Seedling is like you're gonna have 2 defenses a year. That's kind of normal.
I mean, they want. That's fair. They run 1 show a month.
I'm expecting more from Sendai.
Yeah.
Scott, do you want to start with Iwata?
Yeah, I mean, I'm just gonna base it off her being a wrestler because again, 1 defense. She also has won the Wonder of Stardom title, so I feel like that should be included in this conversation. Very unexpected victory for her, obviously, and anyone that says they did think she was winning is lying to you. So don't act like that. Iwata's a interesting wrestler. You know, she's very good, obviously, very good wrestler. But there are times where you just see her get outshined, and I say this in like the nicest way possible. You know that Mio Hashimoto Sareet match with Iwata I said earlier. Iwata felt so out of place with those 3. This is just I'm just being honest. Like those 3 are at such a high skill level that they're making a great wrestler like Iwata seem below them, and that isn't great. You know, that isn't great. But she has won 2 titles. She's had good matches when she's had the opportunity to have the matches. When I've had the opportunity to watch those matches, you know, I think it's arguable she had one of Ano's best defenses in that reign. I'd probably say second best, truthfully, behind the Hanan one for me. So that gives her a lot of credit as well. She steps up when she needs to. The only problem is Sendai Girls doesn't seem to want her to ever step up as their world champion, mind you. So as she hits this mid-year as a double champion, wearing both the Sendai Girls world title and the Wonder of Stardom title, I settle at like a B because I think her output in the ring is great, but at the same time, she's lacking elsewhere. She's lacking. She doesn't feel like a world champion. I don't think anyone thinks she does. Especially when you have other wrestlers in the ring with her that feel more like a world champion. Hashimoto is not the world champion, but who do I see as the world champion when they're sharing the ring? it is Hashimoto. Also, I love to just toss this in. It took Sari longer to beat Yurika Oka than it did Mika Wada. So take that for what you will. Thank you. Thank you.
Scott, you said what I was going to start with, and that doesn't feel like a champion, or it doesn't feel like a world champion. I think to me, like, that's such a huge thing for the world champion. It's a vibe thing. It's an aura thing. She doesn't feel that.
Damn, you
it would
said
help
she has
if
no
she
aura.
was getting some title defenses and getting chances to do it. But I'm marking her down for just I don't have that aura going on. I don't see that happening. And then the one defense is like not memorable. Like, fine. If you're gonna have one, let's have an incredible match. Her best stuff has been the tag matches. And like you said, sometimes it's other wrestlers doing a lot of the work. So I, as strictly as a champion, I was thinking like a C minus.
For sure.
But the quality of the tag matches, the quality of stuff she has, and the Saori match. I bumped her up to a B minus overall. So I think we're similar.
I personally gave her a plus because of the Wonder Rain. Like, it was a buzzer beater type.
Wonder Rain.
And a really good,
It's not Wonder Rain, Wonder Win. My apologies. Wonder Win. Like, by the time this episode is 2 weeks old, that could not matter at all. She could not have it anymore. But she won, and she won an opposing promotion, and it got a lot of people excited. So that says something, I guess, about Owada as a wrestler, not as a world champion, though. Go ahead, Trent.
Well, it's funny. Like, it's frustrating seeing a world champion not defend the belt. It's a similar thing with the Suri thing, where it's one defense in 6 months, and the Sendai belt it feels like it should be defended at least more often than once in 6 months, especially when the defense isn't a blockbuster defense there. Owada in the past month and a half feels like a bit of a different beast. And a lot of it is to do with the white belt. Because that match, when you watch it in a vacuum, is really, really good. And even you watch it, how the crowd responds, that match should have been dead on arrival, because it was coming immediately after the Queen's Quest, Ueno Tai story, and Queen's Quest kind of being dead. The crowd was still hyped for it. They did a fantastic job lifting that crowd through what should have been a dead spot. And Owada did a great job there. She looked like a beast. Obviously, Sarah and her have a history. They did a great job there. And here she is. We just heard she's wrestling in Stardom again in just a tag match. I thought we were just getting a home and home match. She'd win the white belt. She'd drop it in 2 weeks. But she's wrestling in Stardom again. She's not just in Sendai for the entire year, except for the Hanakamura show. This is what I've been wanting from Owada. Creep out of your house, explore the world. The Joshi scene is a wonderful place. But looking at this from a teacher perspective, I see a student who is promising, someone who, if they get out of their shell, maybe pick up a couple of extracurricular activities, could blossom into a great student. But they're just stuck in their own little ways in their shell. They don't do any activities or anything. They just go home. They do their homework. They do what they have to do, and they go home. They do nothing. You want them to pick up chess or sewing or a sport or something, and become what they can be. Don't just do Sendai Girls and Hanakamura.
She farms. What do you want her to do? That's what she does at Sendai. She's a farmer.
Go out and do a little bit of some other promotions. Do some Stardom. Do some other freelance promotions.
Do more activities.
Pop out and do a Surrealism or something. Let's see more Owada, because I've said this and you've said this as well. If she did more than just these, the bare minimum promotion wise, she could be a far bigger name in the Joshi zeitgeist. But she's restricted herself for years now. She feels like a far bigger name in one show, from this one Stardom show. She suddenly feels like a far bigger deal. Imagine if she did this more regularly. It doesn't have to be just in Stardom. Let's carry this through. So for that, I'm giving her a B. I know she's just going to, after this, Sendai Girls Stardom back to back, she's just going to go back into a shell. But I want to encourage her. So she gets a B to encourage
good.
her.
That's good. That's good.
Okay.
She got extra credit at the last second to bump it up.
Exactly. Yeah. She
all about
came in
timing.
clutch. Yeah.
That's fun.
And
I like
she'll
the way
get a
you
D
look at
when
that.
she fails to follow through.
Yeah, she'll get a D when Mako finally comes back to Sendai. It's like, all right, you're done being world champion. Enough.
Very likely. We can move on to another champ, Princess of Princess Champion, Miyu Watanabe. That feels good to say. I gotta
Say it again. Say it again.
David, the Princess of Princess Champion, Miyu Watanabe. It was a dream for so long. It's a reality.
Mm-hmm.
Has the reality lived up to the dream? That's the question. Mind if I start?
Yeah, go. You're the TJPW guy. I just need you when you speak, Ryan. I need you to block the K on your shirt while you speak.
Yeah.
Do the Miyu.
There you go.
Okay.
Look like you're doing the Holy Cross as well.
We talked about like the aura, world champion aura. Do you feel like a champion? I think Watanabe has that. Like right away. We could talk about the booking. Doesn't always treated like that, but she feels like she belongs there. She's justifying their decision. It's very much success with all the big matches that she's getting. I would like more of those. And I do like this story, like a very straightforward. You still have to prove yourself. You're the champion, but you haven't beaten Shoko Nakajima. You haven't beaten Rika Tatsumi. So you're the underdog, but also the top dog. So as champion, she's going to have to go through each of these. And I love that. That's a great story. We haven't seen all of it yet, obviously. The Rika match hasn't happened. But I thought she killed it with Shoko. That was really great. The Vert Vixen match was good. And then I'm like, I feel like we could have squeezed in another title match here or there. I was looking, did she have any other singles matches? There's one against one of the teenagers, Kazuchiro, as an opening match. And I'm like, it's just an odd choice for one of your singles matches to just be, let's put her in against the rookie. Yeah. So there's a lot of things I'm loving. I think she's doing quite well. Not enough opportunity yet. So to me, she's that student who the average is slightly lower just because they haven't quite turned in enough assignments to bump it up to the Suri class pet level. So I'm sitting at an A-, knowing that the Rika match could bump that up. The whatever else comes, Mizuki, maybe. I'm feeling good about it, just not top marks, not full marks. Trent, what about yourself?
I felt like Ryan was a little nervous. Who does he go to next? Like he's obviously the big TJPW supporter. He knows we're both Miyu Watanabe fans, but he knows he's not going to get the roaring like, yeah, TJPW's been killing it in 2024. That he probably hopes that we're coming through here. It's an interesting case because I think like we all wanted to see Miyu Watanabe win the championship, and I think they pulled the trigger at the perfect time. And I don't mind the amount of defenses she had. Like I've been bringing up Ryan's favorite website as we've been going through the champions just to keep track of everything. And look, she won the belt end of March, and she's had 2 defenses since then. That's not too bad. Like in terms of like basically we skipped the month of April, but then we've had but I mean like she won it at the very end of March, so it's nearly a defense a month, which is about what you'd want on average. The Shoko Nakajima match I enjoyed. The Vert Vixen match I actually was probably a little bit above average to what I expected, but I'm always a bit mixed on Vert as a performer. There was a couple of slip-ups there, but I thought they did a pretty good job. Again, like the big question is like you need to throw in some big high-profile people for her to face, and not that they blew the Miyu Yamashita match, but they gave her that match to give her the win. And because TJPW, like Ito's cycled out, Yamashita's not there as often, and then Sakazaki's gone, they don't have as many people they can go to the well with. We're getting the Rika match, which I'm really happy they're going to. And after that, like, there's not a lot of people they can go to really legitimize the Miyu Watanabe reign in the way that you're kind of talking about they are looking to do here.
Mm-hmm.
Once they do that match, and then you've got the Mizuki, that's kind of it beyond just big, scary foreigner and probably Max kind of thing to bring in for her to overpower and prove that she's strong. So there's only so long you can go for that story before you're just repeating challenges. I thought she's done a good job. She's still got the aura. She's still that great kind of performer. So I think she's doing well. A part of it is probably just the general booking. We haven't seen the big heavy hitter matches yet. That's not her fault. So I'm going to say a B plus for Miyu Watanabe as champion. Could be better.
It's
not
fair.
all her fault. But like, and this is kind of TJPW in general. Since the big moment with all the young champions at the end of the pay-per-view, feels like they haven't fully capitalized on that moment yet.
You're
and I think
spoiling
Watanabe
your
hasn't
rating.
necessarily. Yeah. But like part of that is also I don't think Watanabe has really stood out as champion since that moment. Yeah, and that's partly the promotion, but also I don't feel like she's done anything to really remind everyone, hey, I'm now the new ace of the company.
Miyu's interesting because I think she feels like a world champion. Like going into one of her big matches, she feels like that. Like kind of the opposite of like an Iwata. Iwata didn't feel like a world champion, as we said. But I think Trent's also right in that I don't think she's had the standout defense yet. Right? She had the standout win. The match against Miyu Yamashita is phenomenal. One of my favorites of the year. Like that was a standout win. So that in a way gives her the advantage I'm looking for. But I also don't blame her. Like it's hard for me to blame someone who's just doing their job. If she's feeling like a champion, if she's doing everything in her power to feel like a champion, I'm not going to get mad at that. And that's kind of how I feel when I see her. The problem is, you know how I feel about Shoko Nakajima. That doesn't move me all that much. But the match was good. And then she faces Vert Vixen, which, again, this is what they do with their champions. Do I like Vert Vixen? Yes. Do I think she should be challenging for the Princess of Princess Championship out of nowhere? Not necessarily. They did it last year with Mizuki. And, it doesn't get them to the level I think they should be at. And it's why she's lacking a bit, but she's had a great year. I'm looking at her full year, right? Getting to that moment, winning her opportunity, beating Miyu Yamashita. That's big points. She has the benefit of becoming champion this year and, like Trent said, making those monthly defenses for the most part. And she's on her way to be defending against Rika Tatsumi next, which I think many would agree is the defense. Like that's the one when she became champion. That's the one we want to see. So in that way, they're doing the right things. I was also going B+ because I don't think it's anything on her end. Like I think she's doing everything she's supposed to do. If I thought her Shoko defense was like higher, then maybe she would hit A-.
Yeah, I was going to say that. I think you guys are lower on that match than I am, and I'm seeing some fans call it the best Tokyo Joshi match of the year, which I think that's too high, but I'm definitely higher than y'all. I know, Scott. You're not a Shoko fan, so that's not
I'm not even being a Shoko fan. I don't know how that was better than the Yamashita match in any way, shape, or form, but whatever.
I don't think so either. I just think
probably a more TJPW match. So for those who are into the TJPW style, maybe.
Yeah. I think B+ is good for a world champion. Like
she's a B+ player. I'm joking. She's an caliber talent.
Yeah, like that's the thing. I think she's had enough defenses where it's hard for me to go higher because those defenses haven't necessarily fully stood out. But again, the title win was so good. She's so good as a world champion. And I'm very excited to see where she ends up the rest of this year. I hope she has a strong reign. I don't think she should lose the belt this year either. I think that would be the wrong choice. I don't care who wins the Tokyo Princess Cup. I do not think she should lose. So that's kind of my thinking about it. I'm going with B+. Could be swayed to an A- had she had one of those defenses hit more for me. But that's just a personal thing. Being a B+ isn't a bad thing. You know, students are happy with B+.
Yeah, we're really close so far on all three.
Yeah, we haven't been far off yet, so I can't wait till
it's gonna happen. I know, because from what you said earlier. Let's see how close we are with Micah.
Oh, dear
the red
God.
belt champ. I'm coming from this from a very different perspective. I think maybe Scott hasn't started in a while.
Yeah.
He might eviscerate her or celebrate her. I'm not sure. I cannot read him right now.
The Empress who whines a lot. Yes. Mike is the hardest champion to look at this year. You know, because it's like not the best time to be world champion in Stardom, right? Not great. The problem for her is she's arguably supposed to be the most important world champion in this company's history. With Rossi leaving, all the turnover, all the change, and she doesn't feel like it at all. Me and Trent have talked about this ad nauseum on whether it be my show or just talking personally. Like that is something she doesn't feel like the world champion that should be leading this new era forward. She's been outclassed by the IWGP Women's Champion, I think. And that's not my bias. That is defense bias. I've watched the defenses. It's night and day for me. We are getting Mike at a good time. She did just have the really good Xena match, which was her rising to that champion level that I've been looking for, and that's good. But when you have a match against your biggest rival, Saya Kawatani, that I think under delivers, and then you have the Momo Watanabe one at the biggest show of the year and the biggest match of the year, technically, because it's the main event, and that under delivers, it's hard to let that go. Your best title match is against someone that left. Yeah, someone that has brought you to your best match how many times before, which of course is Utami Hayashishita. So that doesn't help. She didn't feel like the world champion to me in that match. That felt like Utami's match. That was Utami's title match. I know what Utami's title match looks like. That was it. But I do give her some credit. I give her that extra credit of you are trying to fight through the toughest time possible. You know, things are changing. You have a booker who's incompetent and doesn't know how to book. Like that's tough. He's learning on the fly. But man, this is the part that hurts her the most for me. She went a whole month. Oh, she also defended against Mega Bane, which was a good match. I completely forget that happens. Which was a fine match.
They didn't build the thing at all, even though
no,
they had quite a bit of hit.
And that's the biggest problem. Nothing's built. And most of the remarks I remember from Micah this whole reign is a Tokyo Sports article saying, no one's gonna challenge me, blah 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 blah. Challenge someone yourself. Like in kayfabe, challenge someone yourself. Like, you know how stupid that sounds? Like, no one's gonna challenge me. That just makes Stardom look bad as a whole. Truthfully, like no one wants to challenge the World of Stardom champion. We did that for a month, no challenges. It was ridiculous. You would forget she's the world champion, and she doesn't even feel like the top person in her faction half the time. A faction where she's co-leading with someone that's halfway out the door in AEW. Like, are you kidding me? How do you not feel like the leader there? But the Xena match helps. The Utami match was great. So if she can pile on that Xena match from here on out, things can change. But I don't even know if she's making it through July, folks, as champion. So that's tough as well. She has 2 defenses coming up in the month of July. But that, for me, that Momo match, I look at that Momo match, and that was supposed to be like the crown moment for her. And boy, oh boy, did it underdeliver for me. You know, when a whole class does bad and everyone feels bad, so you grade on a scale and you bump up everyone's points because you're like, okay, no one understood what they were doing here in this assignment. That's almost what I feel like I have to do for Micah as world champion, because it's not all her fault. It's not. But at the same time, she needs to feel like the world champion that's leading this promotion forward. She called herself the ace of this company. She does not feel like the ace of this company at all to me. I feel like there's like 7 other people that are above her in that. And I think that's a problem. The one thing she's benefited from is not being out main evented, right? The World of Stardom title has main evented when it's on the line, but it's tough. So I'm leaning B-. I feel like it's mean. I do. But for what you're supposed to be as World of Stardom champion, and this has gone on long. This has been a year of this now, not just Micah. I have to go B- because I'm grading as champion here. I didn't grade Awada as champion. I graded Awada as a wrestler this year, truthfully, because I'm grading Micah as champion, World of Stardom champion. She was picked over Sue Suzuki to lead this company forward. Been lackluster for me. She's had great defenses. She had a really good one recently, but I needed more of that to help Stardom get pushed up in the madness.
Trent, are you thinking similar line here?
Well, I was going to ask, did you want me to pile on, or did you want to?
You have negative things to say.
In between.
I could go. I'm similar to what Scott is saying. Like, though I think I prefer some of the matches slightly differently. I think I like the Kamitani match more than most people did, but it was really overshadowed by all the Rossi stuff. So I feel like it just gets kind of forgotten, lost in the swept in that. I liked it better than the Utami match, but the Momo definitely dropped it and felt very much like a mid card title. To me, she's felt like not the Wonder, because the Wonder is almost like a world championship. Like sometimes it is as prestigious, it can be as exciting. It feels more like from another company, some mid card title, like not quite main event, upper mid card.
Yeah.
So I was sitting at a B, just pretty consistent quality, nothing special. And I think it's telling that you guys earlier were talking about the wrestler of the year. Sari came up, Mayu came up. The world champion for Stardom did not come up. And I've seen a couple of people say, is she in that conversation? And she's not. She's not really in that conversation. And that is the position. The top champion in the top promotion is almost like the front runner for that award before it starts. Like you're put in the best position, and she's not going to win it. So that's to me, it says a lot. So I think Scott said B-, slightly higher. I think I'd like the matches slightly more. That's where I am.
I like the Kamitani match. I expect so much more from them. That's the problem.
Yeah.
I also think Saya Kamitani is not the same wrestler she once was, but that's not the question at hand. So
you're a B for
Micah?
She's a B player, not even a B+ player, just a B player. B team.
It's so difficult for me to separate Micah in this year versus Micah's booking. And that's been my biggest complaint this whole year, because I think some of the matches have underdelivered. I think the Micah Kamitani match was good. I was expecting better. I thought Micah Utami was a great match. I thought the match with Megan Bain was really, really good. Xena and Micah, I was expecting good things from, and they exceeded expectations. The Momo match definitely underdelivered. A lot of that to me was the creative decisions they made. The 3 stages of hell match, I think, backfired on them, and the decision to have a hardcore match with Oedo Tai that they didn't interfere with, was completely nonsensical to me and went counterintuitive to everything that Oedo Tai is about. Even though we complain about Oedo Tai interfering in disqualification-based matches, and then when they're allowed to interfere, they don't interfere. What are we doing here? But I know some people who really rate that match quite highly. So it is interesting to me that all of us kind of agree that match didn't deliver. But it is what it is.
There's a lot of people that rate that highly, which is crazy. Crazy for me.
But
it happens. It's taste.
Yeah,
I don't like
some people
if you liked
really
it.
like it.
So
So
I
do want to acknowledge that.
Good call on the
I just wanted to
Uedo Tai
acknowledge
part,
that is a divisive match. Some people really like. It's like the Sarah Inu versus Amy Sarai match. Some people really like it. Some people like myself fell asleep during that match. It happens. Some matches are divisive. But for me, the biggest issue with Mike is not so much the matches themselves, it's the booking of the reign itself. It's not made sense. Clearly, the first few months, Rossi leaving and all that situation has screwed with it entirely, because realistically, she wasn't meant to be champion. Everything we can make out, it was meant to be Suzu. They moved, they pivoted. Mike was picked as champion. So, and then like Rossi gets booted, he gets forced to leave. To me, what they should have done then is when Micah comes out, one of the very first people who comes out and says, I am here for Stardom, I'm going to lead Stardom forward. My first thought is, great, that's your top champion saying she's here for the long haul. Before anyone else starts coming out, you should be like going all in on Micah. The fans are all in on Micah at the end of 2023. They're going to push her to the moon, make her look like $1 million. It's almost like they're like, sweet, we have Micah, we don't have to do anything with her now. We've got her locked in. Because they did nothing with her. They didn't give her any material. She had to challenge Utami, and she did a fantastic. She's never looked more of a boss, more of a champion this year than when she challenged Utami after the Saikawa Tani match. They then fumbled the Megan Bain challenge because they had Momo keep coming out and challenging. So the Megan Bain match felt inconsequential because she had other challenges in the background, and you could tell it was a filler defense. But then they never fully committed to the Momo match until after the Megan Bain match. So that match felt rushed in the end, and they didn't really build to that until the last couple of weeks. Mind you, Mike and Momo did a fantastic job building that match with what little time they had left. It's okay. It's a new booker. He hasn't had a lot of time to get into it. After All-Star Grand Queendom, that's when they're going to settle in. They're going to do things properly. After All-Star Grand Queendom, what happens?
Poof.
Nothing. Absolutely but nothing. For an entire month, Mike is just standing there with a thumb in her mouth.
Wow.
No challenges being built up, no stories being built up. Literally, I know you're saying like it's bad for Stardom, when Micah goes to Tokyo Sports and says, oh, no one's challenging me. I applaud her because she's probably like gone to Okada saying, give me a freaking challenger. And he's like, oh, we'll get to it or something. Like, if she has to go to the media to actually get him to book her a challenger, then fine, like get something going.
She did it like 4
times. Takes a month. It takes a month for them to find her a challenger, and they give her like Xena. Look, I like Xena. I think she's done a fantastic job in her second run. But like that is giving her a mountain to climb, because as good as Xena is and as great as they did in that match, she's not there at a main event level at that point. And they've then had to rush. Like they had a whole extra month that they could have built Xena up and built this storyline, which could have been really interesting. They could have built dissension in the faction. They could have built the story of, will they be able to retain this artist title, instead of just throwing in this story when the match was actually happening, or can these two get along, instead of actually making the story interesting. She's done what she can to make this reign interesting when she gets material. It's just they don't give her material. It's like she wants to revise for the exam, but the teacher doesn't give her the information of what the exam's about until the night before. She's doing her best in that sense. It's just she can't. And then the matches have sort of under-delivered a little bit at times and been good at times. So it's so difficult, because like the championship reign has been for me a C. Like especially in looking in the annals of Stardom history, Scott and I over at the Can Out Podcast Network doing our Stardom Road, we a couple of weeks ago ranked all of the red belt runs. We didn't do Micah's because it hasn't finished yet, but like we were thinking about and we were talking about where would we put Micah's run, and right now it would be pretty low on the list.
You're right. She has a disadvantage of coming off of so many great historic reigns.
Well, if you ignore the last couple.
Well, yes.
If you ignore Julia's
is better.
Yeah. Yeah, but you look at like Utami's run and Shuri's run and Mayu's run and all of that. Like, there's a lot of great red belt runs to compare what Mark has done, and this has been inconsequential. She hasn't felt like the red belt champion, but so much of it is not her fault. Mm-hmm. She could be doing better, absolutely, but I feel like she's swimming upstream. They have not made it easy for her to the point where it's felt like if you told me she was pro Rossi and wanted to leave and wasn't allowed, and they're just trying to make her look bad, I would believe you. It's been that bad.
Fair.
But she was one of the first people to come in and say, I'm staying here. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to give her a B- just because, like, it's not all her fault. But she herself could be doing better because not all the matches have hit.
Oh, yeah.
And that B- is because the Xena match has been recent. If that match, if we were rating before that match, it would be in the C's.
Absolutely agree. Absolutely agree.
So you're doing a B- with a note home thing. Parents, step up. Okada, step up.
We expect better from you.
I'm saying, parents, I know she's trying. Get her to school on time.
Get her to school on time.
So we have not fought yet. We have not.
No fights.
But I know we will now.
I don't know. I've been like linked.
I know.
Why are we fighting now?
Because we're giving a grade to Tokyo Joshi.
Wait. So can I ask how many promotions we're doing? I don't know if we talked about this. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Well, let's
what
preview
promotions
for
are in the combo?
Yeah. Tokyo Joshi, Sendai Girls, Marigold, Ice Ribbon, Stardom, and then the freelance.
Okay,
all
sure.
Combined.
All right. Sure.
If you have another one that you've watched enough, I have not. Those are mine.
I think you checked off my boxes. Honestly, I was just wondering.
Okay, let's do it. I want to start with Trent, and I think work up to Scott. This is how I'm envisioning it. It's getting more intense.
I'm happy I'm the main event for TJPW. That sounds terrible, but okay.
So basically, what we're doing is we're building a mountain. We start at a certain level, we build up for Ryan, and then we just fall off the cliff. Is that what we're doing?
That's what I'm picturing. Maybe I'm wrong. Let's see. Trent, 2024 Tokyo Joshi. Where are you?
It's interesting for me because I do need to preface this. Obviously, TJPW, I'm a semi-casual viewer in the sense like I follow the big shows and stuff. I'm not watching every single show. So like I can't tell you all the little intricacies and what they're doing well, but I am there for the big stuff. And I can't remember what the pay-per-view was called. The one where they crowned all the new champions. What was that one called again?
Grand Princess.
Grand Princess. That show, I thought, like, here we go. TJPW are listening. They've got everyone what we were hoping to see. Like, we gave us the Princess champion, they gave us the tag champions, and we had Yuki Arai there who, it makes sense. That's what we want to see. When we were there, we were like, here we go. That's what we want to see. Somehow, it felt like all the momentum from that moment, at least for me, just kind of got dropped. Because they really should have been all steam ahead from there. And while it's not necessarily that they've done the wrong thing from there, it just feels like they didn't really capitalize on that momentum. As someone who casually watches TJPW and sort of keeps up with it through social media as well, it feels like no one's really talking about TJPW in the wider Joshi discourse after that moment. It's almost like we got what we wanted, and then it's like, what now? Oh, it's like the movie finished. And the difficulty with wrestling is there's no such thing as like the happy ending and then we all go home. We have to keep going. And the movie finished and there was no sequel. We didn't get the next season of the TV show. There's been some good things that have happened. As I said, the Miyu Watanabe reign has been good. There's been some interesting stuff happening. But it's just I feel like TJPW hasn't managed to really capitalize on that momentum. And there's reason to think they can get that momentum back. Looking at what's coming forward through the second half of the year and what they've got planned. But we're not rating the second half of the year because that hasn't happened yet. I can give them little sort of bonuses like it's looking promising.
Sure.
But as of right now, I can't really give them ratings on, they're promising this yet. It's just kind of like, oh, okay, cool. And look, again, I don't think all of it's their fault because they have hemorrhaged a lot of top end talent. Maki Ito, like obviously she's American based now. They've lost Yuka Sakazaki. They've, Miyu Yamashita's not really there anymore. But like, they're pushing the younger talent, which is what you want, but it just feels like they haven't found the key to really get TJPW where they need to be with that next generation yet to really unlock what that 2024 2025 TJPW can look like. I don't want to knock them too much, but it just feels like they reached that peak and then they just haven't been able to carry that momentum forward. And it's disappointing for me because I was really excited for TJPW at that moment. And I thought, okay, I've got a reason to really keep following them, and then I didn't. And I feel like they didn't give me the reason to keep following either. So I guess for me, I'm giving them, I'm torn between a B- and a C+. And I will give them, because it was part of that year, and I think the first half they built really well too, Grand Princess, I'll give them B- because those first 3 months were really good. And then I just feel like they haven't capitalized on the momentum they got from those first 3 months.
Yeah, I'm agreeing with a lot of what you're saying. Even though I think I might like the highs more, as we'll see.
Yeah.
So I went back and I'm like trying to remember the whole year. They had the best version of the Max Heart tournament they've ever had. It's been a tournament that's like, it's pretty good. This was legitimately a good tournament with a great final. They've never had that before. So positive points. Daisy Monkey, the Rise, positive points. 1 defense since, negative points. Okay. Miyu, we talked about her Rise, her Shoko defense, very, very good, and then not quite fulfilling that. So some positive, some negative. The January 4th show I thought was really great. I loved a lot of those matches. The Grand Princess show I really loved. There has not been I know you all maybe not love the pool wrestling or the aquarium or the something very TJPW. There hasn't been one of those that have been.
I haven't given that to you either to give that from. Yeah.
The Hyper Masao did like her proto show, and that it just didn't land with me. It was, hers is so esoteric that it, like I can't even get into it. So positive, negative, positive, negative. WrestleMania weekend was like kind of blasé. I don't remember a whole lot of that. Points off. At the same time, they brought in some very interesting names, like Masha Slamovich a few times. The Zara Zakher, I thought, was a really good pull. The roster is deeper than it's ever been. Points for that. Though a lot of those are rookies who aren't great. Like, it's nice to see all these different faces and all these different options. Just some of them, very green. So then I'm like, how do I grade that? Because every Monday through Thursday, you're doing really good, and then Friday, you bomb that quiz. So, I realized too, I graded last year too high. We were like, I don't know. I was just trying to counteract Scott. I don't know. Because I said A- last year, and they're better this year than last year.
But you have higher expectations for them this year.
Yeah, that's true too. So I think I'm still sitting at an A- just because of the first few months being so strong, and then it's fallen off a little bit. So that's where I am. It's quite different than Trent, or most likely different than Scott. We'll see.
Okay. So TJPW failed at one very important thing. They had an opportunity. STARDOM's interest down. Marigold wasn't existing yet. They had brand new, exciting champions, Miyu Watanabe, Yuki Arai, and Daisy Monkey, ending Grand Princess, leading this new era. And like Trent said, zip. But what is TJPW doing? Where did they disappear to? Unless you are following TJPW fans that watch every show, you hear nothing about this promotion right now. And yes, I see the excitement for Rika Tatsumi versus Miyu Watanabe. That's great. That's not this half. That's next half.
Mm-hmm.
I'm grading on this half. Good job. You booked good for next half, but you took off every month after Grand Princess. Sorry, in my mind, I was
also a bit late because Stardom have recovered and Marigold's in.
That's my point. They had a chance, and they just let it go. I think that is something you have to take into consideration with a promotion that many, at one point, I don't know if they consider it anymore, the number 2 Joshi promotion in Japan. They had an opportunity, and I feel like they missed it. An opportunity, mind you, with very popular wrestlers. Yuki Arai is a very popular wrestler in Japan. Like, that is someone you can really push forward.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even know if she's had a defense since then. I really don't. Maybe I have to. I'm legitimately checking. I don't know. Against LA Taylor. 3 times. Once against LA Taylor. I don't even know who that is. I watched that match. I just checked. Didn't like it.
Clearly.
But my point still stands. This is your mid-card champion. You can have her defend more. I understand she's not always around. But when she is around, she should be having big matches. That's just booking 101 in my opinion. Elsewhere, we talked about Miyu Watanabe ad nauseum. She's done what she has to do. But even so, for me, the Shoku Nakajima match could have been better. But as Ryan says, it was really good for someone that really likes TJPW. So I will take that into consideration. But again, they do the same thing that they did last year. Have the foreigner challenge out of nowhere that I don't know. I don't know how many people lining up for Vertex, and that's not a shot at her. That's not a shot at her at all. But like, it's just a weird thing to do, especially when they're not in earlier to like have matches and build up to it. I think that's always a problem. If you're having some preview matches, give me an idea of what we're going to see rather than they come in and then wrestle a show after that. It's like that didn't do it for me, but there was opportunity here. I'm not going to be as harsh as you think I am because they did the right thing. That's one thing TJPW finally did this year was do the right thing. They gave Miyu Watanabe the title. They gave Daisy Monkey the title. They even gave Daisy Monkey the big tournament win. That's a lot of good checkpoints.
I would argue Yuki Arai is also the right thing.
Yuki Arai is the right thing. I may not be the biggest fan of Yuki Arai, but that's absolutely the right thing. Absolutely. Yeah. They crowned all the right champions. They had a chance to gain momentum, I really think, and I think they really failed to do that. So that's where they just take a hit for me. Because again, when you're the number 2 and you're watching the number 1 take hit after hit after hit, you should be trying to rise to the occasion. I understand TJPW's in their own bubble. But listen, this is pro wrestling. This is a business. You know, you're trying to be great. You're trying to be better. So that's kind of like my one thing. I do think the second half is going to be pretty good for them. I do. They start off with the now Kakuta produce show that features Natsupoi and Sayori versus Now and Teihama, which is a cool, they're going to have Summer Sun Princess with the big time main event.
The cup.
Then you have the Cup, of course, which has Ryu Mizunami in it, which is very exciting. There's things to look forward to. Then you, of course, have Wrestle Princess. But for me, when you miss out on a chance to gain momentum with momentum, like you have momentum, there's belief in what you're doing, and you just kind of, all right, we did what we had to do. Here you go. Like, we'll see you in a few weeks. I don't like that. So for me, I'm going to give them a lot of credit for doing the right thing, but I also going to take a lot away for not continuing after that. So I'm going to give them a C+. Probably, was that nicer than Trent?
I gave him a B-.
No,
I was considering C+, but then I remembered their first half of the year was a good, consistent build, because I was so focused on the negatives of the second half of the year. And I'm like, oh, hang on, no, like it is a full half year thing, and the first half was really good. So,
you know what? I'll bump mine to a B- because I think they deserve the B credit for doing the right thing for once.
And then go down. Okay.
I've asked them for as long as the show has been to do the damn right thing. So you know what? I'm giving them extra credit for that. You got extra credit. You get the +5. I'll round up. You get a B-. I think that's the nicest grade I've ever given TJPW. And I think, again, they can get up to a high B+, maybe even A- if they do all the right things to end this year. And all the right things include, pretty much to me, pushing your young champions to be the center of attention.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
See? It wasn't that bad. Okay. It wasn't that bad. I think I used actual reason because I really wanted them to try and use the momentum of no Marigold yet. Yes. And STARDOM lacking, and I just think they didn't, and that upset me because I was like, you could just book some big show here, right here, and they just didn't.
Yeah, and I have to say, it is very hard for me to do something like this with them because it's just like my home promotion, the one I turn on the most, and it just feels comfortable. So it's
I remember when I had that.
Like it's just generally I'm already positive before it starts, and then they have to kind of pull it back. But coming at it,
you're naturally grading on a more positive note with them.
I think so.
You kind of want to see
just
them
because I have a connection with a lot of these wrestlers.
I do that with Sari, but she's just so good that it doesn't matter.
She fulfills it. She does it. You don't need to do that.
See, it's funny. Like with STARDOM, I'm not like that. Like I'm going in almost harsher with expectations because I know how good they can be. So I'm like, I expect like excellence from you. Like
that'll be
it's almost like they're in the advanced class. So it's like no messing around. You can't be dropping the ball here. You've got to be doing greatness.
Yeah,
that's me with. I'm going in happy and like as long as you try, everything's all happiness and good with Gatto move. Like just show on with a smile on your face and you get happy marks from me.
We are coming from different angles. And speaking of that, you have Tokyo Joshi, STARDOM, these bigger promotions. We have Sendai Girls next. You might be rating it slightly differently, different expectations. Let's start with Scott. What are you thinking about their first half?
It's so weird. It's so weird because this time we have uploads. We don't usually have uploads. Usually it's like, well, the one show I saw, that's pretty good. And that's it. Now we have uploads. Now we have involvement with other companies. Now, we have a lot going on. It's okay. It's not a bad time to be a Sendai Girls fan. They're building to a really big show in a few weeks. It's big. It's a big card. It's going to have 3 big time singles matches on it. And who knows? Maybe Mako's back eventually. Like by the end of the year. I'm not going to act like I'm not going to assume that because who the hell knows what's going on with Mako. But that's a possibility, right? But we talked about it with a lot. It's like they don't book their world champion to be a world champion. That's a problem. But they book their tag team division better than maybe anyone besides. I think they book him better than STARDOM because STARDOM just flip-flops championships like it's nobody's business and it pisses me off. Sorry, you're gonna get a lot of ranting later. FWC are no longer tag team champions, and I'm losing my mind.
It's fresh,
but and they went on Wrestle Universe. That's points. That is points. I am giving you points. You embraced a live possibility that isn't just for these random Corkins. I appreciate you. Sendai Girls is like the minimum. You're just looking for the minimum. It's the kid in the class where you're like, I know they're not gonna give me much. They can do a lot, but they just don't want to. They're lazy. They're tired. They don't feel like it. And then all of a sudden they're like, oh, little Jimmy, thank you. Okay. Like you actually passed in the project this time.
Uh-huh.
You didn't pass it in 7 days late, or for Sendai Girls, shows 7 months late, whichever you prefer. They're actually trying. They're doing the right things. And guess what? The one thing they always do great, the wrestling is awesome. The wrestling is awesome with Sendai Girls. You can pop on any YouTube upload they have and probably watch a really good match at the very least. It's just what they do. Team 200 kilograms. Ryan's going to be able to call them one of the tag teams of the year this year because he's going to see all the matches. He always wants to, and he's like, well, I didn't really see them. They're doing stuff with Manami and Yurika Oka this year. I give them big credit for that. That's one thing I've been waiting for them to do, and they're doing it, which is really cool. They also bring in the best freelancers. They bring in Veni. They bring in Sari. They bring in Mizunami. Now they're bringing in Stardom wrestlers too. It's like, okay, they're clicking all the right boxes. But when you look at the booking of your world champion, it's like, well, we got to take a little points off. Yes, you hand it in the project, but it's not perfect. It's not perfect. There's still changes to be made. So I'm going to give them a very nice B+, with a real chance to get that to an A, depending on how these Corkins go the rest of the year, how Lada's booked the rest of the year. These are important things. I need more than one world title defense in a 6-month span. But when you're giving me such great wrestling and actually at a consistent rate, like I get to watch it, I am going to give you a lot of credit, Sendai Girls, because you're trying. You're trying. I appreciate it, damn it.
Scott, it feels like you somehow read my notes.
Yeah!
Through the screen. It's like all the same things I was thinking. I remember the first show that went on Wrestle Universe. I hadn't seen any Sendai Girls yet for the year. I'm like, let's just get.
They hadn't uploaded this year.
They hadn't uploaded for the year yet, and every match was so good, and it's just the consistency is so impressive. Like Stardom used to be that to me, like so dependable across the board. I'd have to do like a little formula math equation to figure it out, but Sendai Girls in the conversation for most consistent in ring. Like everything is at least good. Some things are very good and beyond. Though they don't have any, or maybe a couple of the tag matches, but not as many of the top tier stuff.
Right. It's just good. Yeah, it's good.
Good, great, but not match of the year stuff. The tag stuff has been really good, but the main event, not as much. And I got to give
Tag
Yurika
stuff
Oka,
is the main event. That's the funny thing.
It's true. Yurika Oka might be the most improved wrestler in Joshi this year. She's been really great. And on the very undercard, they have Yuna and Suzuki going at it constantly, like this rookie battle. It's awesome. Like I'm really, really like invested in that, and that's not usually the case. You put your 2 rookies on, you're just giving them some time. Like I'm actually like I want to see the rest of this play out. So for the same reasons that Scott is saying, I had the same grade. I had B+, just quality across the board, with a chance to go up after this these dream ones coming up. But Trent, can we make it 3 for 3? B+.
So last year, we were so down on this company, And the reason was that the mid-year was they've had a lot of shows that we were like really excited to see, and we could not watch the damn thing. Now look on my phone, Wrestle Universe, Sendai Girls. Now, obviously, there's not many shows. There's only like 4 matches on the damn thing, but it's so much easier. Not only are they being uploaded, but like it's just you can Chromecast from your phone. It's beautiful. The best streaming service just got better with Sendai Girls. Like it's just a mutually assured, beneficial partnership. They could not have worked out a better deal for them. And look, it's not perfect because we're not getting every single show. Like the shows that don't go up there still, we're like waiting till the heat death of the universe to get sometimes. But it's a start. It's a damn good start. And it's like the main shows that you want are generally going up there. So the main matches you want to see, you're getting to see as soon as possible. That right there just bumps their grades so much higher. And now that we're getting to see the matches when they're relevant, when you're talking about them, you get to appreciate how good these matches are that much earlier. So the hype train for Sendai feels so much higher. The only downside is, like, look, your world champion doesn't feel like a world champion. You're not booking the title as much as you should, but like that almost feels secondary because I don't care about your world champion because now I can see that you're not booking it properly. Last year, I couldn't tell if you were booking it properly or not because I'd have to go to Cage Match to tell if you weren't booking it properly. I'll complain about that next year. Right now, I'm just glad that I can see that you're not booking it properly. The second half of the year, look, it's looking really exciting. You got a really exciting Kirk and Hole show coming up. Who knows what's planned moving forward? I'm just more than anything, I'm just glad I can see it. Team 200 kilogram, we can talk about them being in conversation for tag team of the year. Yeah. They're in their rightful spot now, and across the board, looking really exciting. Really, the only other downside is that they've lost one of their promising rookies to Marigold, but they're small knocks. Because it's not going as perfectly, I'm going to give them a B+ like you guys. But considering they're at C- across the board last year, they've fixed their biggest problem. They're attending class now, and they're handing in their assignments mostly on time. So thank you, child. You turned it around. I can grade you properly for once.
Okay.
That's awesome.
That's a universal.
That was universal. Maybe the first time we ever been universal.
Yeah, I don't anticipate that for the next one. We're doing Marigold.
Damn. Okay.
I'm gonna let Trent go first. He hasn't since Tokyo Joshi, but I want to hear Scott second. So let's hear Trent on the Marigold situation.
So this is an interesting one to grade because obviously, like, they weren't here in January. When we were trying to make predictions at the start of the year, we couldn't predict what Marigold would be because it wasn't around. I thought they started off with an absolutely perfect bang. That Kurikan Hall was jam-packed, which is incredible because it was on a weekday. People didn't know what to expect. It's a good roster, but it's not like chockers with top tier talent. They've got some great actress girls, but like it's not. It's a roster that has a lot of upwards trajectory potential. They lost Julia on the first night. They've had people injured. They've had people sick. I think they've done a great job of keeping momentum going, but it's also difficult to sort of properly rate because these first few months have all felt like prep. Because the show at Rigoku Hall, from there, then it feels like we're going properly. We have championships. We have champions. Then you can tell the stories properly. We have story development. We've got now Ishikawa with her sort of, losing every match, the underdog story. You've got the battle of, Miko Aino versus Mirai, not knowing that you're actually meant to pin people and win matches. You've got the ever-loving battle of who is meant to be an ace and that kind of thing. Bodilla hating white people. You've got these little stories, but like until we get beyond that first big pay-per-view, it's all preparation. So it's difficult to properly rate, I think. But looking at what they've done so far, and I think circumstantially, I think they couldn't have really put a much better foot forward. Getting Serene as a regular appearing member is a masterstroke. I might be regretting any kind of partnership with the WWE in 6 months' time when they've got some NXT athletic rookie going over Utami by a submission in 3 minutes. But right now, when you've got Io Sky coming in to face
big.
Utami Hayashishita in a dream match,
yeah,
keep shaking hands with Papa H. Good work. You've got this double main event at Ryogoku Hall, which just has me salivating. Like, obviously you had Maya versus Suri with Stardom, but like this double main event, I've not been so excited for a Joshi show in a long, long time. Probably since I was at a Joshi show in last year for a match. Like that's the most excited
yeah.
I've been. Like genuinely giddy for wrestling, which I've struggled to be genuinely giddy for wrestling in over a year. So in that respect, Marigold is doing everything right. There's still elements that could be improved upon, but considering they had to kind of start from nothing and it's dubious kind of starting platform, you could argue, I think they've put every foot forward in the right way. Some missteps, I don't like all of their imports, but I think given again the starting platform, they're doing fantastic. The fact you had Bozilla with 20 matches, having a packed out Korakuen Hall chanting her name, you're doing something right. So I'm giving them a solid A- rating.
Okay, Scott, you've been. I have a feeling you're going to be high. You've been singing their praises. Marigold, what do you think?
We are recording this, spoiler, on June 29th, 2024. They officially started as a company with their first show on May 20th. That is a month and change they've been around. And I have to give them a rating out of, like, this is the ultimate, like, pass or fail. But since this is not how this works, I will give them a grade. They are overachieving in every way. No world champion, no secondary champ, no champions at all, no Julia after the first show. Their biggest draw, unquestionably. She's not there. Oh, she's there. Okay, she's there, but she's not wrestling. And that's the draw. Yet, they're having the biggest numbers possible. Truly. They're running Korakuens on weekdays. First show, it's a sellout, of course, a sellout. There's interest in it. But the second one is really good. Almost 1,000 on a Tuesday night. Like I take the business side into consideration for a company that is a month old. Because what else am I going to take into consideration? They don't have world champions. It's like I can't tell you they're booking a world champion right. We're talking about all the other companies, how they're I have no idea. They don't have one, But Utami feels like a superstar. Utami feels like the step above. Mirai and Miku are bringing themselves to the step above against one another. They're doing a very unique booking style with those two that I'll tell you what, I didn't expect. I don't think anyone else did. But in a way, they are creating a must-see match per week. At least one on regular house shows that, otherwise, if you miss it, because everything starts on July 13th, in my opinion, it's okay. I also like to watch wrestlers grow. And this company, for the most part, is watching wrestlers grow. I've taken a big time liking to Misa Matsui. I think she's awesome. Miku Eono, I think she's awesome. Natsumi Suzuki, I knew she was awesome. She's a veteran. And then you get to see the Chiakis and the Kokimaris and Chikagotos for the first time. You're like, okay, you're seeing them improve a little week by week by week, right? And then, like you said, they have managed to make Sari a normal guest on their shows. Like, this isn't like, oh, we'll pop in for the pay-per-views and maybe the Korakuens only. She's doing house shows. She's giving me previews against Utami, where I'm just like, oh boy, here we go. Because she has set up matches with like every roster member by saying, I'm the ace. That is, sure, that might be just Sari saying it, but the company's running with it. Yeah. They're not ignoring it. That is story. We're telling basic stories, but they're stories that I am interested in, leading into what I agree with Trent, the most exciting Joshi show of the year. No company in the world, for me, is booking a better 1-2 punch than Utami Hayashishita versus Io Sky and Julia versus Sari. It's not possible. And like Trent said, yeah, maybe we might eventually regret the WWE thing. I don't know. I'm not regretting it right now. I'll tell you that. Io's in Japan. That's a thing that's happening. Holy shit. Like that's the type of thing that I still think about it. And it's like, I didn't think that was happening. Not ever again. I knew she'd come back, but
not wild.
Right. WWE. Like, no, she was WWE Women's World Champion going into WrestleMania. It was not happening anytime soon in my brain. And yet here we are, and it's happening. They're overachieving. If this is pass fail, they get passed with shining colors. But it's not pass fail. So I'm not gonna go A+ or A because again, it's been a month and change. We're not going crazy here. They're on the B+ A- tilt. But because of the excitement they've set up for the rest of the year in 1 month and a week, I can't give them anything less than A- because I'm so excited about what's to come. They're going to have 3 champions. They're going to have stories to build on the Corkins and on the shows. And we know how Rossi books. You're going to have to watch every show. Like I lost the feeling of having to watch every show with a company that I desperately love this year. It's nice to have one where I feel like I have to. And I'm very excited for what's to come. I'm going to go A-. And I think Marigold's just a very exciting promotion right now. And they're on Wrestle Universe. That gets points. I'm just saying.
That's true. Accessibility.
Let me bring the up back up.
You see this? It says Marigold. It's not Marigold. It's like Marigold. Shout out, Julia.
And you can edit Wrestle Universe to put it at the top of your app.
I know. I did do that.
That. That's not surprising.
Push all those men's promotions to the back.
Sendai Girls a second. Just saying.
Okay.
Same here.
That's good. This definitely is a tough one to grade because it's like the student who came in after spring break. They didn't read the book we did in February. They didn't do the project in January. You're like, you're doing very well, but I'm measuring you 1 month to 6 months.
Dad punched a principal at the old school, so there's some controversy.
Yes. I am looking, everything I've said is positive. So the grade I give, the only negative is you just haven't been around. I love their roster. It is a good mix of names, like Utami. Really great choices from actress girls, and it like gutted my interest in actress girls. Like
choices,
I'm like, there's just it like tore that company apart. But you built something really good by choosing or grabbing these great. I know you're harping on my word choice. Yuzuki is really great person to bring in.
I mean, they got a future
on the rise. And then of all the foreigners, you get Bozilla.
Say it correctly. It's the motherfucking Bozilla. She says so.
Yeah. You bring in the motherfucking Bozilla, right?
Thank you.
It's such a exciting group of people.
Yeah.
That's huge. They feel like a major player already. When I heard, Rossi's starting this company, well, I was like, in 6 months, 8 months, maybe we can. No, right away, it's one of the best.
Yeah.
So the grade at the end of the year, I think, is going to be A+. I settled on a B just because I'm like, your library of work is not as big. Yeah. I mean, for 1 month, they packed a lot in there. There's a lot in there, but it's hard to compete. So I settled in on a B there. Next up.
You just wanted to rate TJPW higher than Marigold, just be honest.
Well, not by the end of the year. We may not be doing that, but we'll see. The next up is Ice Ribbon, which, if you don't mind, I want to start.
Yeah.
Part because the prediction that's got
this is an emotional moment for you.
It's
you know,
emotional.
like me and Trent aren't really
good.
involved here. We're just
so
here to we're here to support you.
Okay, good. Like,
let it out.
I think that prediction came from this optimism of I want them to be where they were, right? When Ice Ribbon is really great, the Joshi scene feels whole. They've just had so many kind of bad luck or just things go wrong. I was like, they can't happen again for the third year in a row. They have to have some good things, some good juju coming through. But they did not. They did not have any. Ibuki Hoshi is gone for foreseeable future. She was their key to being really great. I think a great title reign from her would have changed things. Then I go, you know what? It's fine. We got Kaho Matsushita. She'll step up. She'll be the champion. She has a torn knee. She's not going to be around. Okay. At least we have Fujimoto. At least we have Fujimoto back. It feels like Ice Ribbon again. This is going to be awesome. And then they had the Mayu match. Oh my God, Mayu's coming to Ice Ribbon. This is amazing. This is what we needed. And that goes terribly wrong. And now we have no Fujimoto for I don't know how long. That looked really bad, that injury. And they have so many young stars that I thought someone is going to step up. Someone's going to take that next step. And nobody has. Like, I have watched so much of their shows just looking for a spark, trying to be ahead and guys, you wait till you see so-and-so. They're going to blow your socks off. They're like hitting a next level. And nobody's hitting a next level. Yuri is like a solid, reliable idea for a champ, but I'm not excited on any level. And I'm the one that was the most excited and the most invested. And I'm cheering for you. I'm rooting for you. And it's just been nothing has gone right. So I don't know how I can get anything other than an F. Like, it's just sorry. I got nothing.
Wow. You don't like play you don't give them any slack for injuries and pregnancies just happening. You just like, you know what? You get this.
Well, the result is we don't have those people.
That's true.
Like, if fate said, oh, this kid can't be in school for 4 months, like, I can't be like, well, you know, he wasn't here. I'll give him the grade anyway. What have you produced? You haven't produced. So I don't know where else to go with that. Scott, are you less harsh?
No, not really. Pretty bad. Pretty bad company. I like Tsukasa, but she got hurt. Took all my sales away and my interest away. I will give them some slack. All of the people that I expected to step up are hurt. Mifu Ishida, who I've heard a lot of good things about, hurt. Kao Matsushita, hurt. Ibuki Hoshi did what she could before she got pregnant. So tough. Tsukasa Fujimoto came back to pretty much help them. Hurt. Like, that's not their fault. I can't blame them for all these things happening to them. But at the same time, there's nothing exciting me. I like Yuri. I think she's good, but like, what the hell is she gonna do as champion? She's an outsider in this company, you know. There's nothing inspiring about what's next with them. And that's tough. I think Yuki Mishiro's return has been pretty good. Like, I think she's been a better wrestler.
I would say that is the bright spot.
That's like the one bright spot I do have now that Tsukasa's out, unfortunately. So you know what? I'm gonna give him a D-. I want to give him a little love. I don't think they completely failed because it's not their fault. All of it. Okay. Some of it, but not all of it. Like, they had no chance, you know? Like, when you lose, I think maybe your top 5 wrestlers.
What are you gonna? Yeah, it's not like they were
It's not
deep
like they
before
left.
that anyway.
Right. It's not like they left. They all got hurt or pregnant. So tough. Better luck next time. You know, Ryan, better luck next time. Maybe don't pick them again.
I'm gonna not pick
Ryan the
curse.
curse.
This tremendous year.
Ryan is the curse. Ryan believes in Ice Ribbon so many times that they just flop.
I'm gonna reverse curse them.
Are you though?
We'll see.
Are you though?
I think I'll try.
I think you wanted them to suffer, and it's felt. You know, it's kind of mean, man. I don't know. Just my take on things.
Okay, so you settled D-, which is only slightly higher than mine. Trent,
Well,
I don't know.
I wasn't going to be positive
enough for a grade.
Well, I'll be honest. I don't really watch it enough. I mean, what is there to watch? Like every year, they just bleed talent either due to departures or pregnancies or injuries. Like at a certain point, I just want to throw in the towel for this poor crow. Yeah, like, if this was a child at school, I would be calling Child Protection Services because something is going on at that house.
That's crazy.
Like if they are showing up every year to school this battered and bruised, something is going on. I don't want to grade them, not because partially because I don't watch the shows regularly enough, but even the shows I watch, this Ice Ribbon event that they had recently, I was excited for Mayu versus Sakasa Fujimoto like everyone was, and I didn't even get to enjoy that match because of the injury. It's just kind of like it is just at a certain point, it's just they're a punching bag in the world of Joshi. Like this was the promotion when I got into Joshi back in the mid 2010s. This was the promotion. Like if you got into Joshi, you got into Stardom, and then everyone was like, "Okay, yeah, you're a normie, you're into Stardom." But if you want to be cool, if you really are into Joshi, you watch Ice Ribbon. That's how you know you're not just like at a surface level. Now it's just like if you're watching Ice Ribbon, what is wrong with you? Why are you watching people just to get injured?
Good question.
Because there is so many other promotions, and that's not a knock on Ice Ribbon because there are so many other promotions now which are at such a high level, and this is just a promotion that used to be really good, and it does feel like we're watching it hoping that it can get back to its former glory. Because every year it's like, remember how good Ice Ribbon were. If only they can get back to it and look at this talent that they used to. Oh, they're injured. Yeah. But this year, this person, no, they're gone. They're hurt. Yes. I feel like I almost don't want to say, what about this person? Because just the moment you say their name, they're going to break an arm. So let's just, I almost last year was like, let's talk about Actors Girls for a minute or 2 minutes every episode. Just to, give Ryan his spot. I almost don't want to mention Ice Ribbon for a year to see if that just let them, rebuild in peace. Maybe if no one pays attention to them, nobody gets hurt. And then after a year's time, they're to a certain point where they can be okay again. Because it's gone, they are legitimately a cursed promotion. Because the amount of injuries, the amount of departures, the amount of just freak things going wrong there has gotten beyond the point of comedy. I don't know what's going on. It's ridiculous. I'm not giving them a grade because it's not fair. As Scott said, everything that's gone wrong there this year, previous years we've marked them down because people are leaving. Clearly, there's something wrong in that promotion for people to leave. But this year, it's not even that. It's just injuries across the board and a pregnancy, which people aren't getting pregnant to leave the promotion. It's you're having a kid. That's a good thing. But I'm not gonna. Unless there are trainers tweaking knees backstage so that they get hurt. And, it's just freak injuries across the board. It's not their fault, but I'm not. It's unfair to grade them at a certain point.
Okay.
It's just
so maybe incomplete or circuit.
Oh, I mean, if I can give that, I would. I was just trying to be nice to them with not giving them an F, but Ryan's the invested one, so
yes, I am. Okay. Speaking of invested, we have Stardom. It's no longer World Rings of Stardom. Am I correct? They've now changed it to Stardom.
Stardom Inc.
Doesn't seem right. That doesn't feel good.
Like Monsters Inc. or
Japan
Like
Pro
Monsters, Inc.
Stardom.
Wow. I know you have a lot to say, and then
I don't want to go
I
first.
think my perspective, I think, will be a lot different, coming at a different angle.
You should probably go first.
Okay.
you should probably go first.
Because you mentioned earlier that it's been like a good year for just matches.
Sure.
I'm assuming you mean the stories, the rivalries, the booking is not as good, right?
Yeah.
So the way that I consume Stardom is like to just come in kind of, oh, I like that match. I'll come in, I'll watch it. There's a big show, I'll watch that. So I miss some of the long-term stories.
See, actually, that's the thing. You don't, because there aren't any.
There's not.
Okay.
So it's a benefit to me, because what they do well is they're still doing very well is delivering in ring. The match of the year right now that it's going to be tough to beat comes from Stardom. The recently uncrowned FWC for me was the tag team of the year. And then I did a kind of just looking at my own personal match rankings and compared the different promotions who had the most in my top 25. Marigold had 2, Sendai had 3, Ice Ribbon had 0, Tokyo Joshi had 6 in the top 25. Stardom has 9. Like they're partly because they have so many shows. They're so talented, even with all those people leaving. The roster still is really great. So I'm coming from, every time I come in, I generally get what I want from it. Good action, a lot of wrestlers I really like, and I think I miss some of the little booking things because I'm not paying attention to it. So I end up with an A-. Just I'm enjoying it. Just enjoyment level. That's where I am. Not as much as last year or the year before, but still very high. Still in the running for the best. Scott, do you want to go second? I know you do not feel the same way. I can see it in your eyes.
Do I want to? I don't. I'm.
Can he bring it up? Can he handle this? We can come back to you.
Yeah, go tell him back. I don't want to take. I don't want to take what Trent's gonna say, truthfully, because I know we have a lot of the same thoughts. So just
I can see Trent.
You want me to go?
Yes, yeah, he's gearing up.
This has been the most disappointing promotion of the year, because after 2023, where Stardom was in utter chaos for the full year, and we look back at it and we can make sense why it was in utter chaos, because there was basically a promoter and a business person who was, tearing at, trying to get 2 different answers from one promotion. And then it all fell apart in February. Rossi got booted. We had a new booker and stuff. And you knew things weren't going to be fine from the start. And we were all basically hoping, look, give him a couple of months. You gave him a couple of months to, sort things out. People are going to be leaving. You just kind of hope they'd make it through those few months. And look, here we are at the end of June, going into July. Ultimately, they have made it through those months. They've resettled. We're kind of seeing what the quote unquote new normal is for Stardom. There are some positives, there are some negatives. But like, even you were talking about like the match quality. I'd even say the match quality hasn't been that great. Like for me, like, yes, there's been some fantastic matches. You've got Mai versus Sari, you've got Mai versus Shuri, and you've got some fantastic tag matches, but there's not been that many. Like, if you ask me to name the best matches of the year from Stardom, I am kind of struggling after some of those, initial Maya matches. There's not a lot of like truly, top 10 matches of the year that stand out for me from Stardom. And now part of that is because I just feel like the vibes of Stardom in general are down. But normally, like even when the vibes are down in Stardom, you can still rely on them to just put on a fantastic show and just make you go, yeah, well, at least I enjoyed the matches. Stardom, the conversion, the most recent pay-per-view, that was kind of that. Even when the vibes weren't perfect, and I'm watching it going, why are you booking Starlight Kid's story arc to be like that, where you're just randomly chucking her in a faction in the middle of the show with no fanfare? I can complain about that, but the matches were still enjoyable. But that was really the one exception for across the year. The matches haven't really made me go, wow, okay, here we go. Stardom's back on the in-ring quality. It's just been good, but definitely not Stardom from 2022 or Stardom from 2021 or even Stardom from 2023, where like you still had the Sai Kamitani reign where even when we were sick of it, they were delivering 4.5-star bangers every single month. The champion reigns across the board have been mediocre at best. Micah's reign disappointing. Sarah Anu's reign disappointing. The tag reigns have just bounced around the place. Every good reign has ended before you've had a chance to run. The matches have been good, but the reigns have ended before you've had a chance to go. Even the high speed championship, which is normally a safe bet, I've not enjoyed either of the reigns there. The artist belts have been forgotten again. Rena as future champion's been good. The new blood tag belts have been good, but like I'm struggling to really name good. Like genuinely, like I've enjoyed this about Stardom, except for probably the IWGP Women's Championship belt, and even that's gone nosedive in the past couple of months because what's she done with it recently? It's been forgotten again. I mean, it's still the deepest roster in Joshi. You've still got great things in it, but this is even with the issues through February and March with everyone leaving and the Rossi stuff. At a certain point, you expect better from Stardom. The booking is atrocious, and look, I do assume Okada will get better at it. He'll find his groove, and even if it's not necessarily booking I prefer, I expect it just to get better with time and getting into the groove. The matches, I assume, will find their groove again. But I expect better overall from the roster. You can tell, like, the vibes are down across the board. I'm giving them a C minus. Most disappointing promotion in wrestling. And this is coming from someone who Stardom was my number one promotion. And yes, I judged them harsher because of that. I expect greatness from them, even with I don't blame them for the departures, even though, like, in the sense of, like, yes, there are things that they did wrong, but I'm not holding the departure situation against them in this grade. But they could have done a lot better through this 6-month period. But it's just been the vibes are immaculate. They are not immaculate. It's just disappointment across the board.
Scott, we're here. You
all right?
You gotta go through this painful process.
Yeah, I got my thoughts. Okay, so I have been very openly negative about Stardom over the past 4 months. I'll say 4 months. I am someone who could see Taro Okada's booking or lack thereof very quickly. A lot of people want to say, let's give him time. And I said, you know what? We will give him time. Because, some of the plans that people were really excited about, to me, were just leftovers from a man that wore a hat. A lot of people wanted to give him credit for letting Natsupoi pick her best friend as a return match. All right. Congratulations. A lot of people wanted to give credit for Hanan. Listen, Hanan was projected as the winner from day one of this year. Hell, she was pretty much projected as the winner of the Cinderella, I think, from the end of last year. It was like very clear we're elevating her up the card. So that part of it alone, I have to consider the first half with Rossi plus Rossi's plans, and then the carry-out ending. And then you look at the rest from there. Yes, there's been great matches. I look at Mei Seira versus Suzuki. That was probably my first, besides Shuri and Mayu. That was amazing, obviously. Shuri and Mayu, amazing. Sari and Mayu, amazing. Fantastic match of the year contenders. Truly for me. And then you have great matches with Mei Seira versus Suzuki. You have the great Utami Maika defense. But where I see Trent is right is when all the great matches don't involve the Wonder and World of Stardom title, it makes far less of an impact for me as I watch this promotion. The tag belts have been great in terms of delivering match quality. But when I watch Stardom, I'm looking for more than match quality. Not, oh, here's a tag match. They're going to go have a great match. That's literally what they did with Crazy Star and FWC. And it was fantastic. One of my favorite matches of the year. But it had no time to breathe to get there. That match benefits from being in Fukuoka. So it's like, oh, this is, the genuine story of FWC. Every other thing from there, it doesn't. It's just thrown at you. I don't need to go through the champions and the failures. Maika has been a letdown as champion. Not all her fault. Saori Anou was it for me, and I know some people enjoyed her reign, but for me, a letdown as champion. And that follows the Mirai reign, which again was a letdown as champion for me. I don't necessarily always blame the wrestlers, but Saori got set up with like an ideal reign, and until the Hanan match, didn't fully deliver for me. And I thought that match was great. But my biggest problem with Stardom is that what made Stardom special to me is gone. The long-term storytelling, mostly storytelling as a whole, is gone. You rushed the destruction of Queen's Quest. How do you rush the destruction of the most prestigious and most known faction in your company? You don't do that. That is a miss. That is a fail to me. You rush every world title challenge so that Maika is left shackled trying to be like, all right, let's make something out of this. And you have made Stardom no longer a premium product. You have sent wrestlers everywhere, which is great. We get to see wrestlers in other companies. That's very cool. I have no problem with that. But when you can't even book them to be winners or top of the card, that hurts. That hurts. When the IWGP Women's title match isn't the semi-main event, that's a bad look. When you're sending out Mei Seira to lose to Haruka Umasaki, that's fine, I guess. Haruka Umasaki's the Diana World Champion. Fine. But you can't even get Hanako to beat a 15-year-old on your own show. Like, that's not obviously the hit of the year for them. They have a lot of bad things, but that, like, to me is like the very clear, there's no power here. Stardom has no power anymore. It's great to see wrestlers get to go where they want. I'm so happy I can see Natsupoi and Azumi at Surrealism. I think it's really cool that Saori and Natsupoi get to go do the TJPW match for their friend. Like, I think that's really cool. But nothing feels important right now. Nothing feels important in this company. And when Stardom doesn't feel important, that means you have failed to me. You have failed the expectations I have set forth. And it's showing in attendance. It's showing in overall interest. I am reading messages from domestic fans. Taro Okada can't book. Damn right he can't. He can't. It's just the truth. And now they are getting so mixed in with so many other things now that this isn't Stardom to me anymore. When I'm left wanting certain people to leave because I want them to be in a company that's built right, that isn't Stardom. This is the best roster in the world, at least in terms of women's professional wrestling talent. End of story. That's never up for debate. But when most shows don't feel like that, you're missing something. House shows have become whatever. Most of the wrestlers don't need to go out there and try. They don't.
Mm.
And this hasn't happened yet, but you ruined my 5-star. I'm not happy about that. Okay? You changed it to 4 blocks, and we're doing 13 shows in 21 days? Oh, I thought we were going to fix the schedule. No, that's lies. Lies, lies, lies. I think Julia said it best. Stardom didn't know how to follow up on momentum. Stardom is the best company in the world. They did everything in their power when Rossi got fired to turn the PR against them, right? They did everything. Oh, here's Sari. Here's Hanan, the new star. Here's all this. Hanan lost more after the Cinderella win than she did in the first 4 months of the year. How is that? Like, you destroy everyone. Wins and losses don't matter anymore. It's 50-50 booking. It's just not what Stardom's supposed to be. So, to me, it's not a fail because, again, when you have a roster this good, they can make up for it in terms of wrestling. But when the best thing you have going is your tag team titles that flip-flop like nobody's business, and your future Stardom champion and your new blood tag champions, it's not great. It's not great. So, because Stardom means so much to me, and because how hectic of a year this is, and how down I am on the overall year, I feel like things are a little bit more up for me recently just because, the Conversion was a really good show. But then I look at certain things and I'm like, well, Queen's Quest is what that is. And Starlight Kid just has a faction because it's hard for me to do anything besides a D+.
Mm. Oh, I can feel your emotion there. Very personal.
I have more, but
one
tough.
Little addendum. It's not going to change my rating up from a C-, but I was very negative, and I do want to add one little positive cherry on top from the Sunday that has thoroughly melted and is dripping onto the table. I do appreciate that they have added the live shows on Stardom World, and they have fixed their little obsession with charging for the Kurikan holds. If they had kept charging 2,200 yen for them, they would not have got any bonus points for this. But the fact that they're now they're free on Stardom World live streamed. Thank you for that, because that I get the complaints of like the shows were not live streamed and they were taking a few days to go up. The fact that they can be watched live, I still wish that Stardom World was a better service in the sense that compared to Wrestle Universe, where you can Chromecast and it's just cleaner, it does feel outdated. But the live streaming is appreciated and the service is good in that respect. So.
All right, I have to be that guy then. I don't get translations for post-match promos anymore because of that, and that hurts me.
Yeah, I'm annoyed with that too. They have said they are bringing that back. They've said it. Yeah, look, I will give them some time to bring that back. The fact that they do the post-show backstage comments, they do bring the English subs on that, and they've said they are looking to incorporate that into Stardom World. I'll give them some time to do that. If it's end of year and that hasn't been done, then I will take the marks off. Not that they're getting marks, and there's a still C-, but they will proactively lose marks.
Yeah, I can't give them credit right now because you're taking away, for me, you're taking away a storytelling process where now everything is just me watching. I'm like, I don't know what's going on. I understand you can just
there's no stories being told right now.
Yeah, you're right. But no, actually there is. And thankfully this was translated, but it wasn't by Stardom. It was by an off-brand account. The entire Natsupoi post promo after Sayori lost, very important for what we're moving forward with, because it's telling the story of Sayori failing, and she's going for Wada because she wants to win the title, and it's like, I wouldn't know that if at Mara Wrestling didn't exist. It's like, yeah, I have a lot of complaints because I care. It's not because I hate Stardom. I care too much about it. And after last year, where I thought it got its worst, like, I looked at last year, I was like, all right, this is the worst. Like, this is the worst it could be. It's only up from here. And then it didn't. Just didn't. Yeah, in a year where you have 75 Wonder and World of Stardom champions, how is this year with 2 worse?
I feel your pain.
If I was just watching for matches, I'd be happy for the most part. I mean, not as happy as I have been in the past, but I'd be happy.
It's true. I think Trent is right that even that part has.
It's the
lowered.
Wonder and World for me, like that.
Yeah.
With those matches not hitting on the level that it has the past 3, like even with all the multi champions last year, at least matches were hitting. But what are you gonna do?
Yeah. But we have one left. I don't think you'll be as passionate about it. The freelance scene, which is very hard to.
Sorry, A+.
It's 3 plus. Plus, you have a new Unagi going around having fun.
Yeah, that's how you warm me up.
She's looking to book the Tokyo Dome.
I don't think I've seen an Unagi match this year besides her anniversary show.
The sold out Kirk Hall.
Hey, credit for that.
And that was like she had like 4 matches on that show. So you've seen.
I'll go first for this because everything's popping in my head of what the indies are.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
Sari rules. Sari saves us. Woohoo! Love Sari. God bless Sari. Blah 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 blah. So, thumbs up for her. Let's look at Marvelous. Oh, Yu Miyazaki's still your champion. Mio Momono's still a loser. Ooh, that's tough. That's tough. Don't love that. Thumbs down. So that's okay. All right. We counteracted. The Marvelous doesn't have as much power as Sari, so it didn't hurt them that bad. All right, let's look at we already hit Ice Ribbon, so that's tough. You kind of took that one out. That is I guess they're owned by a company. Let's look at Pro Wrestling Wave. Oh, Catch the Wave is unwatchable this year because no one cares. Oh, that's
some of the matches are available on Stardom World.
Yeah, great. Saya Kamatani and Rana Yagami matches. That's it. Everything else. Who's the Regina the Wave champion? Yuki Miyazaki. Can't say I'm lining up to watch that. Another down arrow. Okay. But thank God for Sari. We already did Sendai Girls, so they're not included in this conversation. Could have got some points. Could have got some brownie points for being watchable. Let's look at Oz Academy, shall we? My joy here. I've watched a lot of Oz Academy. Okay, not a lot, but I've watched some. And it was Ozaki winning over Mio Momono, which I don't know. The old lady beating the young upstart superstar doesn't excite me all too much. So thumbs down again. But Mio Momono did win that title, but she lost it to Ozaki. She lost both belts to Ozaki. Not great. Have I run out of companies yet? Evo Girls, Chi-Chi and Zones and Soy.
That's been good.
Yeah, they're doing a good job. So we got another thumbs up.
What about PPP Tokyo? Why are you giving me that look?
Chanyota's one great match happened in Stardom. Like, what? I don't know what you want from me. That's crazy. That was a crazy one. I can't believe you just threw that at me. I'm just trying to think of other freelance wrestlers now. Like you said, Unagi's doing stuff, I'm told. Nothing that's making me go watch it, but doing stuff. Seedling. They got the recent Nakajima retirement road. And that's been great. So, plus, but we're going to be scared after August. It's just like I don't know, it's a B- because I don't expect a lot. That's the thing. I don't expect a lot of these companies. Sari's been amazing, but she's been in every other company we've talked about for the most part, doing something great. Sariism was good, the one show we got. The freelancers are freelancing. Seedlings had some good shows. But when Mayumi Ozaki's holding 2 top belts, you ain't getting a high grade from me, buddy.
Okay, so you settled on the B or B minus? What'd you say?
B minus, I guess, because sorry.
This is a tough one. Trent, what are you thinking?
So I'm going to go a little higher than Scott for a couple of reasons. One, because I also give points because he forgot my favorite promotion, Choco Pro / Gato Move. Since we didn't rate them this year, I'm counting them in as the independent promotions. And look, they keep doing good work. They're building towards the Kurikan Hall in August. I'm not counting Kurikan Hall, obviously, because it hasn't happened, but because they've been building towards that, there's quite a bit going on. So they've sort of been really amping up their in-ring shows, doing some really good stuff. Got some new rookies, which is really exciting. And more importantly than any of that, some of their wrestlers sang me happy birthday while I was over there. So they get bonus points for that. Cereism, obviously, they've had one show and it's continuing. So they get bonus points that Cereism is continuing, unlike last year where Nomads had one show and wasn't continuing. So that's good. The one kind of regulation freelance show. The Hana Kimura show happened. That was really enjoyable. That's always a safe bet. And the big tick for me for the freelance scene this year that the freelance scene didn't have last year is that they're able to just get Stardom talent on a whim. Any promotion, they can call up Okada and say, look, I want X. And they'll be like, cool. And I don't know how much it costs to get this talent. Like, I would have thought it'd be expensive, but considering Wave can get 2 talent, including someone of Sai Kamitani's level, for a tournament, I'm guessing, I don't know what the Japanese equivalent is of a hot dog and a handshake. I'm guessing it's a bento and a bow. But they can get them for that equivalent, apparently. So if I am a Joshi independent promotion, I'm calling them up and saying, give me Shuri, give me Mayu, give me Sai Kamitani, and booking them on these shows. Yeah, Ice Ribbon, before the injury, they get their record Kurikan Hall numbers. Wave gets these, good talents. And you can get them to lose matches, apparently, as well, in some cases. So good on the freelance scene. Your doors are wide open to possibilities that wasn't the case last year. And for that alone, you get a B for the possibilities, and it's a decent scene. It's not all perfect. Ozaki double champion could be better, but it's a healthy situation for the possibilities. And Unagi's still doing her thing. That's always a positive. Gato moves doing well. There's some exciting things happening there. Yeah. Not perfect. Prominence isn't running monthly anymore. I like Prominence, but
Prominence isn't running anymore. Don't say monthly.
No, but they're still going to do some special events here and there.
Have they run anything this year?
No, they haven't run in over a year.
Okay. I thought I was missing something. I was like,
they have run this year. I was at a Prominence show this year.
Oh,
I saw Risa Sarah get injured this year at a Prominence show.
There you have it.
That wasn't a Prominence show. Oh, wait a minute. I'm sorry. I'm thinking Nomads. My bad. No, Nomads hasn't run. My bad. Prominence does exist, barely, but they do exist.
Yeah. They're no longer running monthly, but they are still running special events.
I'm thinking of Nomads this whole time because I was like, Nomads hasn't run in over a year. What are you talking about?
No, I acknowledge that Nomads is dead when I was
talking
about you were trying to gaslight.
My bad. There. Prominence is alive. Not well.
The show you were at did not exist.
No, sorry. My bad.
There you go.
And I give props to PPP because I did go to the show as well, and it was interesting.
I quite enjoyed them. They played like the club music while the match is going. They have,
as I said, interesting.
You always find an interesting thing to get behind. I'll give you that.
Yeah,
Chenyota's awesome.
You got to go to at least one show.
No, this isn't shaming Chenyota. Chenyota rules.
But I mean, that's the reason I watched that promotion.
And Saida and who did she wrestle? Kaho Kobayashi. That was a good match.
Yeah, free on YouTube. So I'm very much with you guys. I'm gonna say just maybe right below Trent, like a B minus, with Suri really carrying the torch there.
It speaks to the overall quality of the freelance scene that even with Sari, that it's only getting B's and B minuses.
It's true. I mean, if she had another reason in this grading period, which it's about to be another one, but it's just outside of it. So there you have it. A lot more agreement than I envisioned.
Yeah.
There's only a couple things we were very far off.
Were we far off on anything?
Stardom and Tokyo Joshi, which is every year.
Yeah, but usually I don't think Stardom's far off every year. You're always positive, so like
I think that's
me and Trent have been positive before. You know, when we did the mid-year report for Stardom, it wasn't all doom and gloom last year. This year's all doom and gloom.
Yeah, well,
Queen's Quest is dead. What do you want me to do?
That doesn't feel real.
Kind of make me feel bad for Saya Kamatani, who abandoned her team after she lost. Yeah, that's not happening. They took the belts from FWC right before the show. Not happening. They ruined the high speed. Not happening. World champion. I'm not.
He still has a lot to say. We need an addendum.
Do the plugs. Get out of here.
Let's do it. Yeah, so all the report cards are in sealed envelopes being sent home. Let's get them signed.
1 second. I just got a phone call. One second.
From a parent?
From a parent.
Totally legitimate phone call.
I understand. Okay, well, you got to try harder. Tell the kid to try harder. I don't care he's never booked before. He's got to learn.
This is a first.
He's running the biggest Joshi company in the world. What do you want me to do? I hung up on the parent. I'm sorry. Continue.
Ice Ribbon weren't happy with your rating, I see.
Someone who
Ice Ribbon actually sent me a text message. They said, Ryan, how dare you leave us in the dust like this? You are our only defender, and you gave us an F.
What else can I do?
You should rate Actress Girls.
I haven't watched enough. I mean, I haven't recovered. I haven't recovered. You took all of my faves.
When Fuka gave up on them, you gave up on them.
Yeah.
Cool.
So I dipped back in, but it's like starting again. It's like a new promotion. Like 6 of the best are gone.
You should be used to that. You keep trying with Ice Ribbon.
It's true. There you have it.
I get it. You want to watch a wrestling promotion. They're not a wrestling promotion, so.
Yeah, that's true. Never have been. Okay. Well, they actually were once upon a time, but
before the switch, yeah. Trent, where can we find if you want to hear more of your takes, your work?
Who are we going first there?
Oh, I said Trent.
Guiding us all this time. Oh, I didn't hear you. Sorry, I was probably too busy.
You were too laughing at me.
Yeah. So, Shockara, you can find all of my work here on razuramag.com. Oh, yeah. I was going to point to the website links, but you've got it all set up. So some wonderful work here already. None of that's mine, but that's okay. Couple of articles.
Write something. This is the latest.
Yeah, I know. I'm just saying, like, there's some great stuff here. Just
he has a lot of good
most
stuff.
Most visible wasn't mine, but that's okay because the quality is still good.
Okay.
My most recent stuff was an interview with Stardom Xena and also a complete history on the Oedo Tai versus Queen's Quest rivalry. Both of those were in the build-up to Stardom's The Conversion, but like you can still read them. It's still interesting stuff. It's just not super relevant. My next pieces for Razura Mag will most likely be covering the 5-Star Grand Prix, a big preview for that. I like to torture myself by like previewing every wrestler, and now they're doing 28 of the bloody participants. So I've
done 26 before. You can do it.
Yeah. It's just they haven't announced them yet, so that'll be fun. But that'll probably be my next piece for that. You can also hear me, if you want to keep hearing me, on the Stardom Road on the Can Out Podcast Network every second week with Scott Edwards. At the moment, we're covering the full history of Queen's Quest, specifically their faction. Most recent episode was the first part, which was Io Shirai's run as the Queen's Quest leader, and then the next episode will be Momo Watanabe's run as Queen's Quest leader.
Yeah.
So be sure to listen to that and check that out. That's pretty much everything, I think, off the top of my head. You can follow me on Twitter /OneUpCulture. That's not my Twitter link, but that's okay.
No, but I wanted to
He's
show
showing your
your
articles.
content. Your articles are on here.
Yeah. There's a couple of things there. 3 of them actually. Also, my Watani's greatest matches list, all on RazuraMag.com. So be sure to check that out. And just down there on the One Up Culture, right there. Which, if you, that's all my stuff. I'll shut up
There
now.
it is.
Yeah,
Scott, we got Stardom Road. We got like 8 other shows. Am I correct?
I won't say 8. Used to have 8. Slowly retired. But I've been doing a lot of content lately because life sucks. And I have nothing else to do. So follow me at Scotty Wrestling on Twitter. Check out the 5-Star Joshi show each and every week for everything going on in Joshi. I promise I'm not totally negative on Stardom because it's a week-to-week thing there. This is a collective 6-month build-up that I had today, so apologies. I'm excited about Stardom. That's the thing. Like I'm excited about Stardom because I have no other choice to be. Because I like the wrestlers too much to not be. You know, it's like I haven't watched the FWC Lost yet, so it hasn't fully set in for me yet. It's not totally in my brain yet.
It's not real if you don't see it.
Exactly. But
I tried that strategy. It doesn't work.
Marigold's got a lot coming up, so I'm very excited about that. So we'll be talking a lot about that. Like you said, Sendai Girls. It's a big week in big month in July. Good time to follow. Big show for Sendai Girls. Big show for Just Tap Out with a World of Stardom title match on it because that's how we work now. Stardom's got 2 pay-per-views at the end of the month with a World and Wonder show. We're heading into the 5-Star Grand Prix. Marigold gets Summer Destiny. I think that's Summer Sun Princess. Sariism. No, well, there's just a lot. There's a lot for once, which is nice. It's the summer of Joshi. It's a beautiful time to dive in. Like Trent said, check out Stardom Road each and every other week. We talk everything and anything. Good archives to go back into if you want to learn about the history of Stardom, whether it be Arisa Shiki's time in the company, Io Shirai versus Mayu Iwatani, the beginning of the Queen's Quest stuff that we've hit. We've hit a lot. Tier list. We got some tier lists. You want to get mad at us? Go look at those, or don't get mad at us. That'd be cool too. You want a beginner's guide? Don't watch that. It's very old. It's not useful to you anymore. That's Stardom Road.
Hear about actions that no longer exist, wrestlers that are no longer in the company, promoters.
You're welcome.
Out there.
That was pretty dead like 2 weeks in, and we knew it was going to happen, and yet we did it anyways.
And it was like our best performing episode.
I was going to say highest performing episode, so shouts out to us.
People want to weigh in. They want an entry. But
what I will say is I'm going to start writing again. I got things planned so much that I'm going to say one of them. Future of Joshi is coming back. I did it last year.
Yeah.
On Voices of Wrestling. This year I'm bringing it to Rezura. I got the list done. Nice. You can probably figure out some of them. It's at a very exciting time in Joshi when you look at the young youth talent. TJPW's got exciting young talent. Stardom's got exciting young talent. Marigold's got exciting young talent. And the indies have exciting young talent. So it should be a lot of fun. So that'll probably be 2 articles this time around. I'm not doing 95 like I did last time. And I have interviews coming out. So keep checks on my Twitter for those.
Yeah.
Ryan, I'll send it over to you so we can get the hell out of here.
Yeah, let's just remind you to bookmark ResuroMag.com. Follow us, ResuroMag. These are all raw. It's all even, all the same. So just follow all those. And on this YouTube channel, we have more stuff coming. So subscribe, like this video, and comment.
Tell your friends.
We were right. Tell us where we were wrong. What's that?
I said, tell your friends. Tell your friends.
Yeah.
They're in the Joshi. They like Joshi. They want to learn Joshi. Come to ResuroMag.com.
We are your Joshi friends. We got you covered.
We are your friends.
Thank you for listening. Make it all the way through. Until next time. Cheers. Oh, this picture.